Welcome to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with your host, Aaron Schreiber. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories of fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Schreiber.
What's going on, everybody? So I tried to tweak up my little voiceovers today. It's kind of fun. Dang it again. So are you guys ready for a good show tonight? It's kind of wild how everything came to be and everything. We were supposed to have Kim Brown on tonight, but she got a little frisky, went down to Florida and got a little sick. So she was unable to be with us tonight. And I reached out to a couple of my buddies and wanted to see what would happen. And I never would have thought at 8:30 last night I'd get a confirmation and be able to throw together this show so quick. But it's something I've been wanting to put together for a while, and I'm excited. It's gonna be a good one. But before we jump in and start, I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors again, Arlo Revolution, like you saw at the top of this show. Amazing cinematic wedding videos, music videos, everything. Check them out. Just amazing stuff he's doing. And then both of our on-screen sponsors, Janet Stolth Creative and Art on a Higher Wire by Joelle. Check them both out. But if you guys are ready for tonight, it's going to be a great show. Once again, check us out on Patreon if you can. This month we got our quick giveaway. Go check it out. Next week, we have a really cool guest on, and we will be doing the drawing live on the show. So go check it on. I'll post the link later on in the show or at the end of the show. But I want to rush through this stuff because we're gonna have a good show tonight. But we're gonna rush through all that good stuff. But this is a show, like I said earlier, I wanted to bring to you guys for a long time, and I'm a huge fan of singers and songwriters, and I'm a fan of promoting things I love. And tonight's guest, I believe, he's totally changing the game in the way songs have been wrote lately, because he's not afraid to really put it out there and really put his emotions out there. And I don't think there's a genre of what he's doing right now. And I compare him, and I don't like to compare artists. It's one thing I don't like, but he does remind me of a young Eric Church. I know we have a lot of church choir members that's watching in, and he reminds me of stuff he's doing things his way. And he's young, and the words that are coming out of him is just amazing for anybody to be able to lay that down on paper and capture those feelings. And I'm blown away for some of these songs, and just can't wait to really talk to him tonight. And yeah, be a fun episode. So what do you guys think? Should we just bring him on? So without further ado, guys, let me go ahead and find him, man, and bring on. Well, actually, I'll say his name right this time. It's Tucker Beathard. I was going to joke around about my buddy mispronouncing your name before. The Beathard.
Yeah, and did you hear the lady at the opera?
Yep.
I was like, come on, man.
Like, and then you came right back and you're like, no.
Yeah, and I said my name right. And then when I got done, she's like, one more round of applause for Tucker Beathard. I was like, come on, man.
It was funny. Well, I mean, we'll just kick off with that. And since we're talking about intros, but
welcome to the Rave TV. We're here today.
This is my buddy.
To the Rave TV. We're here today.
What's up, man?
Tucker.
Welcome
to the Rave, dude. Welcome to the Rave, dude.
Actually pronounced hate to say this, but
yes.
it's actually pronounced no, man, don't even sweat it, because so many people don't even sweat it, because we had so many people mess up.
The thing is, like, I don't get, like, it's as if like the TH rule just doesn't apply to my name, I guess. Like,
right?
Like, you could say weather, you could say together. Like, you don't say to get her, you know? Like, you don't say wet her.
No.
Like, how come, like, the TH rule just doesn't, people don't think that, like, all grammar just goes out the window, I guess, with my name.
So it is funny because you hear, you heard Jeannie Seeley say it one way, and then you heard the Beathard this way. It's like nobody could get it right. Like,
yeah, I mean, I understand, like, Beathard, like, I get that, like, but, like, when they say, like, Beathard, like, it's like, since when does TH not make th instead of, you know, like, I don't know, but it does help with telling.
I was hoping Trevor was watching. I sent him a message earlier. That's actually my buddy. He works at the He works at the rave. I know we brought it up before. I think I introduced you to him before, so I was hoping he's watching tonight, but I don't see him over there. But I always give him crap whenever I see him about messing up your name. I'm like, he won't do it again, though. So yeah, man, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Man, you got some steam coming up last couple of days, and especially with the new single, which it's doing great, isn't it? I mean, have you checked the charts, or are you not a chart watcher?
Yeah, I try to not watch, like, I don't keep up with that stuff as much as possible. Even more so now, like, I just because at the end of the day, like, it's not going to make a difference. Like, all I can focus on is making the music how I feel I need to make music, and like, I don't need confirmation based off of charts or radio or whoever to really persuade what I do. So it's like, for me, it's just, I prefer to just rather just focus on the music and, let that whole thing work itself out, whether for good or for bad. I don't know. I just try not to keep up with it.
I agree. I mean, it's always fun. I mean, well, you hit Rock On hit number 2, and I always say that damn Billy Currington knocked it because you were slated for a number 1 slot, weren't you, for the following week?
Yeah. Everybody thought for sure that it was going to go number 1, but to be honest, I didn't want it to go number 1. I really didn't, and I know it sounds weird, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It'd be more special to me to have my first number 1 like later in a career, or with like a song that I feel as an artist like means more to me.
I agree. Oh, I agree. I definitely agree, because that was more fabricated of a song, because it was fabricated for who you were working for at the time. I feel. I mean, it was a damn good song. Don't get me wrong, but it was different from what you're doing now, what you're allowed to do now, because I feel like you weren't putting. I mean, the EP you put out, it was good, but you weren't putting those deep cuts on there, and that's what we like. We like to hear these deep cuts, and
yeah.
I mean, I like that you fought for yourself and your music, but you kind of fought for the fans too, because you knew what we wanted in an album, and you fought for that. Not many artists do.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. I mean, when you for me, like, music and songwriting and songs is really being able to have a career and do it for a living is a blessing. But that's not like why I got into it in the first place, So it's like it's not worth. It's a pretty easy decision. Like if I can't do the music the way that, like, I have it on my heart and stuff like that, then like it's not worth nothing is worth watering down the music for me at the end of the day. So whatever, if I'm at a place like I was the last label that gonna water that down, then I don't care how many number 1s.
What was your most watered down song, did you feel?
Watered
down.
I
know what my pick would be.
Well, the thing is, man, like, honestly, like, a lot of, like, if I had to pick, it would be hard to say for me that it was like watered down, because, like, I don't really like have it in me to write like watered down.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as like where I was like looking back as an artist, like, I probably wouldn't have done like written certain songs the way I have. But like at the time, like, I wasn't watering down. But like if I had to, like, if you're just laying it all on the table and like listening,
if there was a song you didn't have to, if you did, there's a song that you had to take off that EP you put on, what song would have been?
Home Sweet USA.
There we go. All right. I wanted to see if we were on the same page on it.
That's what got me.
I felt like that was a push. I felt like you were being pushed.
Button heads with old Scott Borchetta. He was like, "It's the next single," and I said, "Hell no, it's not."
So what made you or the label go with the song you have now? I mean, it's a damn good song, but you start off and you feel like it's a fall, it's like kind of like your dad's song, "Boys of Fall," and you
right
away. What made it be kind of a early spring, late winter tune?
Yeah, that's one thing I was thinking of too. Well, Honestly, like after like learning a lot in the business and being around for a while, like I kind of take it now, like understand now that like make it more of a point to only record and only write songs that like I feel comfortable with. So like that's my part as an artist. That's my job. And I have like my 2 cents of what they want to promote. But at the end of the day, like as long as I'm giving them things that I feel confident in and can get behind, then like if they want to pick whatever they want to pick, I'm gonna give them picks that I'm cool with. And that was really just one that they wanted to go with. And as far as the fall thing, like I guess I kind of thought about it, and by the time like if a song gets up the charts, like by the time if it were to get up on the charts, by the time it'd be high on the charts, it would be like around fall time probably anyways.
Yeah.
So,
with those charts move, man. I'm telling you. So let's go ahead and play a quick little clip for the new one. Oh, it won't let me do it. Never mind. Won't even let me play for my own G drive over here. You gotta love computers, man.
Yeah, technology.
There we go.
You would think some song, you would think some place, you would think some look on a strange space would ring a bell.
I love it because I mean all your fans, we've heard the acoustic version, we've heard it, but then when I got the final product, man, I was waiting, I was refreshing like everybody else. And I think it was finally like a little bit before 11, I finally got the drop and I heard that. I was like, man, it was money, dude. It was seriously, it was awesome to produce a whole version of that song. And I was impressed with it. And I hope it goes at least top 10 for you because it's a song that it needs to be.
I agree, man. It's who the hell knows
really,
when it
good
comes
on the
to
radio.
Dude,
Like,
radio is such a tricky game. It's not even tricky. It's just like I don't think anybody really knows anything. Like, so I don't see any reason why I couldn't or wouldn't. But like, who the heck knows, man?
We don't know because there's songs that you put out where I would think, like I thought, well, you Fight Like Hell was a single, correct?
No, it was not.
It was never actually a single. So, is there ever a chance that it might actually go back to radio, or no? Do you think that song will never find a way to do that?
Since we re-recorded it, we put some like metal guitars on it. So like, I'm sure that would scare the shit out of radio people. So.
Yeah, you never know, man. But
so, I mean, if the label wanted to, I'd be like, heck yeah, let's do it. But
right, well, because I was reading your wiki page today, and it was talking about how it's kind of became like a cult anthem in a way, and it really has. And when you think back on it, and I mean, hell, you got it tattooed, I got it tattooed. I mean, it started a whole tattooed crave, and I could probably post a couple other ones. I know a few of the fans have some badass tattoos out there. Fight Like Hell, and it means so much to different people. And let's go ahead and just play a quick little. Oh, never mind. It's going to play the whole 3 minutes. We ain't going to worry about that. But to me, it means so much. And like the clip I was going to play of the song, well, it was at the very beginning when there's still a little month at the end of the money. And like when I first played that, my wife asked me, and before I got the tattoo, she's like, well, what does that mean to you? Like, you're going to get that tattooed on you. What does it mean to you? And it's the first time she's ever questioned a tattoo in my life. And I told her, I said, but it means so much to so many. And for me, it really didn't mean much to it meant a lot to me until I lost my job a year and a half ago. And we were able to figure out how to put things together. And then when that line, there's still a little month at the end of money came around, because there's times where people are living that and all the bills might be paid, but you might not have a little bit of grocery money left. And there's still few days left before payday hits again. And that song, and so many people, I know Jenna was sharing a thing with me today, and she just put it here, and she says, thanks for doing what you do, for pouring your heart and soul into your music. The first song I ever heard of yours was Fight Like Hell. At the time, my dad was in a 13-hour surgery to remove a cancerous tumor. That song pulled me through and still does 4 years later. he's still fighting like hell, and I just want to thank you for your music. So
That's
different
awesome.
things that she just wrote in, and just amazing different stories. And when people ask me like, well, what do you do to fight like hell? And I just tell them, and it is an anthem, I think, for the Mother Tucker's fan base, because we all have had a time that we do fight like hell. But when it comes down to it, we got your back, and we're gonna fight like hell for you too. So
totally, man. I think that song is such a like universally like just simple like message, and I think everybody, some bigger than others and some, you know, whatever, but everybody has certain things that they're, you know, battling with and have to fight with and have to stand their ground with, whether it's something like you know, being a single mom and having to you know, deal with that load, whether it's dealing with cancer, whether it's losing somebody in your family, or whether it's, you know, just trying to, you know, work your way up the ladder to be able to pay for rent. Like everybody has certain things in their life that, you know, they are fighting like hell for, and that's the beauty of songwriting, and especially like a simple message like that, you know, that it can touch on anyone and everyone in their own unique way, you know.
oh, I agree, and it's cool because to hear the different stories, and to like to be part of. We have a Mother Tucker's page on Facebook. Be part of that and hear everybody and the different fans share all the different stories they have of what makes them fight like hell, and it's cool because you're saying there's so many people that could look at it in different walks of life, but when we hear that song, we all come together, and it's kind of a cult like anthem song. But yeah, if you ever get the chance to make that a single, push for it.
Dude, I would love to. That's actually what that's what I was pushing for when they were like
Yeah.
with the Home Sweet USA.
Oh.
I was like, man, we need to do Fight Like Hell, and I'll never forget Scott Borchetta's words. he he didn't like that song.
Well, he's not even over Big Machine now. He's gone, right?
I don't know, man. I think he's still tied in somehow or some way. I was confused about that too, but
Yeah, I was trying to keep up with it, and after a while, I was like, whatever.
yeah.
So what was your first tattoo? We were talking about tattoos. What was your first ever?
My first tattoo was I was in high school, and I got a Bible verse, Psalm 27:1. My dad was out of town, and my brother was in town, and my older brother was in town, and I was like, dude, let's take it, because my dad hates tattoo. Oh shoot,
You gotta tell me about that one too.
dude, I was a dumbass growing up. I was stupid.
Dude, I had one right here. I have actually a tattoo over it now. The girl's initials I did with a sewing ink and thread.
Yeah, dude, I just got a knife on that one. I just got a knife and just carved out a cross.
So did that one ever last or no?
I still, like, if you look really hard enough, you could still see little and scar from it, but
That's awesome. That's awesome.
but
But
that
yeah,
was like my 15-year-old tattoo right there.
I was like, yep. So but the one on your chest, that was the one that you got where you talk about in the song, you got your brothers all got it too, and you guys all got one. Cool. So I think that was the same verse that we put on the back of the shirts that we did up for the memorial we did for your brother and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which I got a bag of those for you. We got I know a few of us bought them for you, CJ, the whole family. So
that's awesome.
We got shirts for you guys, but it was just something we wanted to do, just to kind of give back in a way, but most of what we can, just kind of say, hey, we're still fighting like hell for you too.
Yeah, no, we all appreciate that, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. So it was fun, but so you, before you got into music, I mean, you come from a family that is, I mean, your grandfather's Hall of Fame NFL. Your dad is going to be Hall of Fame songwriters, if not already. I mean, your dad has probably penned some of the biggest songs. Well, my life. I mean, I could tell you two of them. I mean, I don't know if I have the clips or if they're ready or not. This one here. Let's see.
Now we got that G.I. Joe in the church.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dude, so when you heard that song, your dad wrote, do you think that was about one of the boys, or?
Oh, it was obviously about all three, me and my two brothers growing up when we were young, and I know yeah, there was a guy that he wrote it with who also had like a few boys our age at the time. So it was definitely about that.
Well, it was nice to meet Travis Tritt. And what I think is funny because like the night before I became a dad for the first time, I was actually in my car. My wife couldn't eat. I went and got Lou Malnati's pizza, something big in Chicago, and I was in the parking lot just kind of eating it, and I was listening to that song, and it was kind of life changing because it set me up for the next day when I became a dad, and so it's kind of a song that sticks with me. And then the second one, well, like Jesus does,
Yeah.
by Eric Church. The only Eric Church song he's ever cut that he never wrote was by your dad.
That's
And it was a song my mom and I, it was our first dance at our wedding. So
nice.
it was cool because like when I first started digging all your music is because I've been familiar with the family and with your dad's writing is back in the 90s with Kenny Chesney and especially with Church and everything. But I know he was always, the boys were always the football and baseball. So you had a baseball scholarship, right? For Middle Tennessee or?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was like always doing music and writing growing up and like playing wherever I could in high school. But yeah, it was, you know, after school, always on the football and baseball teams growing up. And I knew I was good enough in baseball to get a scholarship. And I was kind of like, man, that's because I also knew I wanted to just dive into like full tilt music went like as soon as I could and get out of school. And I knew it was going to be pretty hard to walk away from like a scholarship.
So was it a full ride, like baseball scholarship?
Well, it wasn't like a full ride because like baseball, it's pretty rare to get like full rides, but it was a good generous scholarship. Yeah. And
that was awesome.
Night before I called the coach. Night before I was supposed to be there, I called the coach and was like, "Man, I hate to do this to you, but I can't. I'm not coming, man. I'm just gonna do music."
Well, didn't you have some shoulder issues too, or something?
I did, and I think that kind of like I think that was a blessing in disguise because it almost kind of gave me like an excuse to like actually consider like doing something quote unquote that not logically smart and it kind of made me take a step back and be like, man, I'm gonna take this as a sign that I'm gonna tap out of baseball.
So and then so you played football the same places your brothers have played football too, right?
Yeah.
Actually got I was looking on YouTube today. I got some clips. I gotta show these clips. So you got what was this one? I gotta see. I had them labeled, but let's go ahead.
Maybe not play your best on the team. Maybe not really play your best.
Oh, this is your mom. All right. 65 yards, I think they said that was. That's impressive, man. So what leaned you towards one sport or the other? Because obviously you went to college for football or for baseball, or we're just going to go for baseball, but what made you lean more towards being a baseball player?
I mean, it was honestly like whatever season I was in is what I liked more, but also with baseball, like you don't have to be like super as like I'm undersized dude for football, so like that the opportunities in college weren't there for me like baseball was. So yeah, and my grades were crap too, man. like there would be maybe some like small schools like for football that would like Swanee and stuff like that would show interest, but when I told them my grades, it was like there wasn't a chance I could get in anyway. So
they didn't want, but we were actually, I think Tyler and I were talking about that because I mean, both your brothers were built. I mean, they're built for football, and then you're like, here comes you, and you're like, all right, you're built for the music world.
Yeah, I mean, I was faster than them though. I can tell you that. But yeah, definitely, they got the height genes in the family.
So you got to go to the Super Bowl I saw this year, huh?
Yeah, it's my first Super Bowl. It was pretty cool. Pretty
So
cool.
you guys just spent a couple of days down there. I mean, the outcome wasn't cool, but it was still. I mean, just have your brother in it. I mean, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, the experience and everything was awesome. It was
That's
super
neat.
cool.
I mean, and they're a young team. They'll be back real quick. So
Yeah, they look like they're setting themselves up for a good next few years at least.
we gotta get CJ just a starter again. someone trips Garoppolo again now.
Shit.
I mean, it was good to see him out there last year, the season when he played about half a season. So, but I mean, he's a hell of a QB, man.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him. He kind of got a tough break when he was in the game. They were such a young team all around, but he got to learn a lot and got some playing time, so that's good.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, especially with Iowa. Tyler saying bring him to Chicago, man. I would love to have him. So I think when during the draft, I think the Bears were on the clock right before the 49ers. I'm like, man, if he came to Chicago, like Tyler has a jersey guy. I was like, dude, get the jersey ready. I was like,
yeah, that'd be sick.
Bring him to the Bears, dude.
Yeah,
so I would love to have him over here in Chicago. That'd been awesome, but
still might happen.
The Bears don't know what they're doing at quarterback. I don't think we ever do. I think we've had 2 good quarterbacks, and one of them's named Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Lynn. Lynn wants me to go off of sports already. So I got to call out Lynn here. She is probably your most diehard, I think, fan. She goes to so many shows, and I met her, and the way she saves her spots at each different show is just phenomenal. I got this picture I pulled. I think this was Iowa City. We went to the meet and greet. We come back, and we see this note on the front of the barricade. It says, "Meet and greet, Lynn. Be right back." Sign her name on the front row of the barricade.
That's awesome.
So, but
she's great. She comes to. It's funny, like when it's more like rare to when she's like not at a show, almost to like when we don't see her at a show, we're like, oh man, I hope Lynn's okay. Like she's not here.
There was one time, Lynn, I love you, and man, I love you to death. But you were playing Summerfest in Milwaukee, and I think she fell asleep. It was like 100 degrees outside, dude, like midday, and she had like her jacket on, like she had like 3 layers on, and she fell asleep like sitting up. And Tyler and I were like, dude, is she all right? We need to go check out Lynn. Like we made sure she had some water. She was just tired, but
that was I remember that. That was
showing up at 5 a.m. at 5 a.m. at Lollapalooza, first one there, and man,
dedication. That is dedication.
I love her passion for it. But
totally.
So yeah, she wants me. You are currently got a few, like 3 or 4 dates that you've announced. The question is, I don't know if you can or can't answer it, but are you on the entire Brooks and Dunn tour?
Not the entire one, but there's a handful of them for sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
I know you probably can't say much, but
yeah.
I'm hoping for Chicago to be one of them. But
it's definitely more than what we've announced so far. Or whatever.
Nice. So I know. Well, Saturday night at the Opry, when they introduced you, it sounded like when they introduced you, you had the entire tour. And that's why I wanted to clear it up, because a lot of people were talking like, oh, does he have the entire tour? Does he only have a couple dates? Because Jeannie Seeley,
we got like 18 dates with them.
Nice, man. That's huge.
That's a good amount. That'll keep you busy for
when it fits your. I think it's going to fit too with Travis Tritt, man. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good little tour, I think, with those guys. So
yeah, I mean, just to get because like Brooks and Dunn, like they're the ones that they'll only they have to approve whoever they're sharing the stage with, and so that for them to listen to my stuff and ask me to come out with them is an honor and a huge compliment in its own for them. I mean, that means a lot to me, coming from actual credible like legends.
Yeah.
Now
just don't go play too loud or anything, get kicked off tour.
Yeah, well, that's the thing for this tour. I said, man, I think I'm gonna strip it down and just do like a stripped down acoustic, like the trio, like the the not full tilt rocking.
Yeah,
Just like for
that'd
the
be kind of
songwriting
cool though.
aspect of it, just to have the songs come across more clear, you know.
So today when I was kind of asking people in the fan club questions and everything else, I had a few of your fans from UK reach out and they want to know if there's a chance you ever coming back over there anytime soon, or
I want to.
You had a following over there for a little while. You were going back.
Well, I mean, like it was weird, man. Like I went over there for like 3 shows opening for Dierks Bentley acoustic,
Mm-hmm.
and then later that year, just went out on a limb and went and did like 3 or 4 shows like on my own and in these like little bars and clubs and man, it was awesome just to see. Man, playing over in the UK is like for an artist and for me personally is my favorite place to play. I love it over there just because like they're such great music fans. They're not
hard right here over there.
They're like not like mainstream driven. Like they know what they like. They'll do their research. They don't care like if it's shoved in there, if they're just fed it from the mainstream aspect. They know what good music is and they know what they like, and they'll come out and support you and everything. If I had it my way, I would go over there and tour just for 6 months. Just be like, I'm just going to spend time over here playing for these people because they appreciate music so much, man.
And that's why I hear. I know a few of my buddies are getting ready to hit over there for I think it was like Country to. I forgot what the festival is.
No, that C2C thing.
Yeah, and Church and Combs and all of them are on it, and they're getting ready to do like the Ireland and everything run, and it looks like fun. I was gonna try to hop on it, but it's just kind of crazy with the way it is and everything. I was like, man, that'd be fun though. Just go over there. So, and I know I was telling you, man, if you ever get over there again, I'd love to hop over there too and see a show.
It's an experience, man. It's different. It's different from over here, and it's super refreshing to share your music with those type of people, man. It's awesome.
There's Trevor. Trevor, you missed your name pop up earlier. I'm mispronouncing his name. So, I know a lot of people think it was your debut. So it was actually your debut in the Circle. You played the Opry a couple times prior. But Saturday night was your debut at the Opry House, like in the actual famous Circle where everybody's played. So
yeah. The 2 other times were just at the Ryman.
This still the Ryman. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always gotta give you crap for playing the White Sox stadium over here. At least you didn't get like any drive-bys or anything. We always joke around. Oh, I have if Staples is watching, he's a big Sox fan, but the Cubs.
Dude, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I support the White Sox over the Cubs because they
took care of you.
They took care of me. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. They got a jersey. I don't have the picture of the jersey, but a jersey with your name on it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that was cool, man. I got to see you get to do that and some other cool things, and it's cool like again to see like the different things that you get to be invited to. So have you played for any other sports stadiums or anything, or any sports teams like that?
No, I mean I've done I got to go take like BP at a Fenway Park when a couple years ago when I was in Boston for like a it was kind of like a charity thing that they do, but like before a show we got to go over there and take BP, so that was pretty awesome to hit in the Red Sox stadium. That was. So
did you bounce one off the Green Monster or no?
Man, I'm gonna blame it on the dead ass bats they had us swinging.
They could at least give you like one with a cork in it, just so you could like have the thrill of bouncing one off the Monster.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to pull one over that right field wall so bad because I'm a lefty. I wanted to, so I was probably trying too hard. That's why I didn't even.
There you go, Dale. I beat you to the question. Thing.
Shoot, the Monster. Yeah, I'm a lefty, so I had to go oppo. Over the Monster, which I ain't got that kind of power.
So I got to throw this picture up, and this picture is phenomenal, man. Because So we gotta tell the story. A lot of people know of the song "Homeboy" and the relationship behind it with you. Is that something you're still proud of, or is that something you still hate?
Well, I mean, it depends like how much people are looking into it, because like it's super far fetched. Like everybody, I think
I
it was
came
just
out a little late.
it was just like a talking point people just like wanted to run with. But like as a songwriter, like you understand like how just even an idea gets triggered and then you run a whole different direction with it. But I guess it was on surface, like face value, yeah, it was like inspired by the fact of like my older brother looking after me, because I was tended to kind of, you know, be more get into things, you know, and but like I was never like a thug, like, or like, you know, have like fake gold in my mouth and stuff like that.
Where's your tattoos on your neck and stuff? See,
That's
that
what
was
I'm
probably
saying.
Church's lyrics on that song. So
Yeah, probably.
he's probably like, well, we're gonna add this, we're gonna add that. So, which I mean, it's for creative wise, I want to see what his next project's gonna be, because the stories that came out of what he just did in North Carolina, you don't take your entire crew and shack up for 28 straight days or for 7
Yeah,
weeks. And
that's awesome. I get it as an artist, like wanting to be in a different creative space and whatever. I mean,
just shut. I mean, he takes all of his team with him and just shuts everybody shuts out. And
yeah,
a couple of people were saying like he would write all day and then record all night. They're like, I don't know how this guy was sleeping. Like,
yeah, it's wild. I mean, shoot, if I had the money, I'd do the same thing.
right. So when there's an older picture. When was the first time like you really started? Because you were a drummer for a while, and that's how you got started off as a drummer. And then when you first picked up a guitar and you learned that, okay, I could put words, and you kind of learned you could express yourself with a guitar, where did you go? I mean, where was the first place you wanted to kind of take your music?
The well, it started off with just like in my room, like because I was grounded so much, like you could just really just I had nothing else to do. But like the first place that yeah, I would just play in my room, and then one night I was I got in a lot of trouble and was grounded, and my dad didn't trust me at this, like I was like a freshman in high school, and my dad didn't trust me at the house alone, so he had to go play like a little riders round gig in Leapers Fort Puckett's grocery, and he's like, you're coming with me, burn the house down, and so I had to go with him to that. And then when he was up there doing like a little riders round with a couple riders, he was like, hey Tuck, why don't you come up here and play that song I heard you singing in your room. And I was like, shoot, all right. And that was when I got my first taste of what it's like to actually perform behind a guitar and microphone on stage, and to express yourself to other people, and from that end. And it was like from that day on, like it honestly probably saved my life. I mean, like, because I found like a new purpose. I found like a new like love and passion, and like from that day on, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
And that song, it was all right with me, correct? The song you played that day?
Yeah, yeah.
So how did the crowd take that song? I mean, because you're a young kid and you're singing a song, "Load the Bullets, Cock the Gun." I mean, what was the reaction?
Dude, I mean, they I mean, granted, it was like a Leapers Fort Puckett's grocery crowd, so like, but they're like, man, you're really good, you know. Like, I mean, I think they could sense the emotion, and like the, you know, the conviction in like the songs, and I think that's appealing to any like song listener fan, is like just when you hear something and hear somebody play something, especially just behind a guitar in themselves, like, and you feel moved, or you believe what they're saying, then like I think anybody can appreciate that.
Let's play a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it.
It's hard to tell when your face is in the ground, but I got God on my side with my faith held high. But you don't look deep enough to see. That's all right with me.
Yes, I mean that song. I mean, hearing it coming from like when I first heard it, like you're the first song I ever wrote. I was like, okay, yeah, 1920, whatever. Then I heard like your age when you actually wrote it. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
because like I remember when I was that age, like the music that I would like listen to in my room, and like I would listen to the lyrics that you're writing. Like I remember to piss my parents off. The one thing I'd always did, I had the Offspring album, and like right in the middle of it, it was like, you stupid, like it's just started like I would crank that up as loud as I can, and that was kind of like I was a punk, man. I love the Offspring and stuff like that, and like so when I first heard that song and then knew like where you were coming from at that age, I was like, damn, I get it now because. Like if I could wrote like stuff like my just like kind of emotions, like I was feeling stuff like that. And it was kind of cool to hear that song. It was cool that you sent it out too to like fans. Like that's one thing with you. You really don't hide your music like a lot of other artists do. Like you see a lot of artists are real secretive about their songs and about they kind of hang on to them until they're fully 100% done and then put them out. You like to kind of test the waters a little bit. I want to say like you might throw an acoustic version out or maybe test out in the crowd a little bit, but why do you do that? Why is that a little bit different to you? Like, why are you more open with your music compared to maybe like almost like Eric Church, where he is so closed off until he's completely 100% done with a project?
I think a lot of it, if you know, for the most part, is because my favorite thing about like music is not only like expressing myself and like being understood like myself, but also like seeing other people gravitate to a message or like touching on, like, seeing other people get something out of it. And I don't know. I love sharing that. That's just like like, it makes me just feel good to like share music. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what it is. Like, I guess I just really believe in like everything I sing and write, and like know that there's a purpose for it in somebody's life, and can make a difference in somebody's life. So it's like it's just fun to throw it out there. And yeah, I mean, probably some of it too helps like for testing the waters, for when you create a project, because I like the idea of a project and sonically like a project happening. But like after I write a song, like I also like want to share it. It's like, oh fuck,
You're
I love
excited,
this.
yeah. You're excited. You want to get it out there. I mean, now, do you creep at all, like to kind of see what people are saying, like on social media? I know you're really active, like on Instagram and Twitter, but do you kind of like kind of dig to see kind of like your feedback of your artists, like or like, of your fans at all?
Not as much as, yeah, really probably. I mean, not that much, man. I to be honest, I hate social media, dude. I really like. It's hard, like, to even keep up with it for me, just like to even because like I don't think about it that much. But like I will, especially after like if I post a song, I like to see like what what the reactions are and stuff. But like I'm not super like focused on social media in a whole, like as a whole. So
I'm the same way. I'm not fun. I'm not. I don't like Instagram or I'm not big on Instagram or Twitter. When it comes to Facebook, I love it, but I'm so old school. Like if MySpace was still around, I'd be all for that. So rank friends in the top 10 or
right.
so.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't have like not like nobody like I don't care if people know what I'm doing, and I don't care what other people are doing. And like if I felt like I give a good representation of like, I'm not trying to portray nothing. So it's like if I felt like I give a clear representation of my life through Instagram, then I would. But all it's gonna do is be a false reality, or like or just not paint the right picture. So it's like I'd rather just not. You know, I'm all for it for like business and promoting. Like it's a great tool for that. But
Yeah.
you know,
And
I'm
you,
not trying
you have
to
people too that share. I mean, that work your social medias too for you for like the important stuff, right?
yeah, because if they didn't, then like I wouldn't. Nothing would be posted.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to like work on like doing more like personal stuff, but like I just don't think about it. Like, you know.
Well, we definitely appreciate the shout out the other night, man. That was pretty cool. So that was really cool. Waking up and seeing the shout out and everything else. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But I want to know, like being a songwriter and being your dad's a huge songwriter. What was the best advice he's ever gave you from maybe from songwriter to songwriter, but maybe from like dad to son when it comes to songwriting? So like I always hear like Christofferson gave Church like the advice like how fast you go to the top is how fast you come back down, stuff like that. But like what would your dad, who was pretty established with had some hits under his belt, what did he give you as advice to kind of get you
Man,
motivated?
he was always just a great support, and because he didn't really have to give me like advice necessarily on like you know, right from the heart, right from this, because like I naturally like was doing that anyways, but like but for him to almost like validate it for me, you know, like be like, because like I respect his opinion so much as a songwriter. I mean, not only as a songwriter, but because he's my dad, you know, and so like for him to dig what I do and to, you know, like support that, or to, you know, to be supportive of what I'm doing, and appreciate my songwriting and the authenticity of it, and the you know, all that. It's encouraging, and you know, you know, I mean, I think a lot of it too was just growing up around it. You know, he kind of led by example as far as, you know, hearing all the songs he wrote. You know, that it's tough to find one that I would say isn't a good song, and I'm talking about songs that nobody's ever heard. Like you know, heard all his
What's your
demos.
favorite song that's ever been recorded by your father? If you had to pick one that's been picked up, that's actually been recorded, people wouldn't know.
Man, I think lyrically, I don't like the way the artist did it. Like he kind of ruined it. But lyrically, as a song, and I'm comparing it to like when I heard my dad's demo of it. But as a song, I think he has a song that Tim McGraw cut a while ago, called "You Had to Be There."
Okay.
Which, like lyrically and like song wise, it's such a great story, such a great song. I don't like it the way it sounds with Tim McGraw. Like it kind of like sucked the life out of it. But
Next time you talk to Singleton, ask him about Why Don't We Just Dance?
yeah.
If you want to talk about the way artist cuts a song, it's so funny because I still remember I was hanging out with Singleton, and I don't know if you know Sam Coates. He did sound for Singleton in the Grove back in the day.
Yeah.
And, but he's like, they're like, here's Josh Turner, this big old like Christian or whatever, this religious guy, and he's singing this song, and Singleton's like, oh, this is about fucking. He's like, that's all it is. He goes, but he doesn't sing it like that. And Sam was
right.
It's just the way I don't want to go into detail about it, but if you ever talk to him, ask him that story.
Oh yeah, I've heard that spiel from him.
So what is it like writing with him? I mean, before I know I pulled up this song, but before I get into this next song that I want to talk about,
with Singleton?
I know, yeah, your EP, I know you did a lot with him because he was contractor. He was with Big Machine 2 before 50 Egg. But what was it like writing with him? Because I know for me, when I have to look at songwriters, he's probably my number one. Because I've heard a lot of his deep cuts and a lot of stuff that he hasn't really got cut by other people. And I know he was trying to be an artist for the longest time, and then he just didn't want to do it anymore. And he was able to get dropped, and he loves doing what he's doing now. But I've known Singleton probably like for 14, 15 years. And since his early days in Jackson, Tennessee, I got to see him living close there.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine just writing with the guy, though. It's just kind of like the way things come off of him.
Yeah, man, me and Singleton, like we work really, really well together. Like we've always, it's rare, like it's rare to have like those guys that you like naturally like always, you know, just really complement each other well. And like there's a handful of them for me that I pretty much just primarily stick with and stay with. And Singleton was one that for sure, like, man, we just like really, I think a lot of it came from like the musicianship, because like he's such a good like musician person. So like,
yeah,
hearing like what I was doing and stuff like that, like he dug like my style of playing from a musician standpoint. And it was just always fun, man. We would always like build tracks and like just, we had a blast. We haven't wrote in a while, but yeah, I mean, I love writing with Jonathan.
So he was on We'll Take It On the World with You. What was
Better
it?
Than Me.
Fight Like Hell, Better Than Me. Yeah, some really good ones. I remember sending him when I first got the Fight Like Hell tattoo. I sent it to Singleton. I'm like, don't tell Tuck yet. I'm gonna see him in a couple of days. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, he already knows about it. He's like, someone
Yeah.
already go. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I should never put it on social media, because
Yeah,
I think
I told him.
Was
I
that?
told him he needs to get one too.
Yeah, right. He needs to get in the club. So, because that was back when you were actually when Luke Combs was opening for you.
Kinda,
So
yeah.
the Brantley tour. So I mean, that guy's blown up. But
Yeah.
or you can at least say, hey, he opened for me once.
Well, I mean, it was kind of, I wouldn't say he opened for it. He just had an earlier slot than me. Yeah.
That was a hell of a tour, though. I got to see the Chicago stop, and it's where they had it the arena, and then they moved it to the theater because it was just a smaller venue for some reason, and it was just crazy that the whole tour. You guys, honestly, the three of you together were probably a really good tour.
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Brantley's a good dude. He's a good dude to be out on the road with.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like he definitely takes care of everybody that's out with him, and
he does for sure. Yeah.
Super. So I pulled this song up. Let me see. Let's hopefully my clip works. Like all my other clips. Let's see. Nope, it's just gonna be a little part of it. We'll play that. Whatever. I'm not gonna play the clip. That's not the section I wanted it to be. But I want to talk about this song. If you want to talk about it, if you don't want to, but when you wrote it, it's my favorite song you've ever done, because I think it spells or it talks so much, kind of like Fight Like Hell, and people can relate to it differently, because we've all been in situations where we're not proud of ourselves in a way. So we're vulnerable. We're in vulnerable situations. And I feel like there's a lot of vulnerability to this song, and kind of like
there's a lot of vulnerability. Yeah.
When you wrote this song, like, I mean, what were you thinking? I mean, were you just kind of, I mean, could you really there's a lot of emotion in this song, I feel.
Yeah, man, that was I mean, that's like the epitome of like what songwriting is for me, which is channeling like the deepest and toughest things for me. And for me at that time, because like I jumped on the road when I was 19 and just hit it and was always going and kind of went down a slope of you know, the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing, you know, like, and I found out pretty quick that like that just leaves you a lot more empty, you know, at the end of the day, and it took a toll on me, and I remember I was in a hotel room and I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life, you know, and it's just the thought of, you know, and you know, like you always think in your head like man, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna change this or that, but like really being hit with the reality of like, God, if Jesus came back right now, like I hope he does not find me here, you know, like that would, like I need to change something, and it's just like, it was just, that's why we just did it just acoustic in the studio, because like
perfect.
There was nothing else that really captured the emotion or you know, the message better than just like hearing it come from from the person himself and just the guitar, you know, and just taking a live take of it. So
yeah, I love the way you guys just, it was bare bones. It was great the way the mix of it, and it would fit perfect. And it's cool because when you do play it live now, you strip it down, you play it acoustic, because you always have like one or two acoustic songs during your shows or when it's your headline shows, which is really cool. And it's cool the way you lay it out there and you play that song. And then that one, and then 18 was another one of my favorites that you did. And I know you guys start playing that one a little bit more too.
yeah, that's a fun one, man.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. So those are two of my favorites, but I think they're my favorites because I kind of relate to them. And when I talk about it, kind of like talking about like, All Right With Me, like I knew those, like that was me. I was a rebel kid, man. I had blonde hair. I was bleached blonde hair, earrings in my ears. And I remember when I first moved to Mississippi with my wife now, we were just dating, and I got a job with her uncle at the time. He looked at me, I had my tongue pierced, blonde hair, my ears pierced. He's like, I'll hire you, but you gotta lose all that shit. So I shaved my head, I had dyed back, lost all. That's the last time I had anything, because I was a culture shock. I mean, I lived in Chicago my whole life, and my girlfriend I was just dating for a year moves to Mississippi, and I go down to middle of the Bible Belt, and people are looking at me all weird, like, who's this guy coming in?
Totally. Yeah.
So I relate to a lot of that. I know you're a big fan of like Blink-182 and Nirvana, and that was, I mean, 90s alternative, 90s grunge, and nothing will ever be like Silverchair. I was a huge Silverchair fan back in the day.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, that they had some like a lot of like the music sonically and just like the melodies and the way a lot of those bands were doing things. It just resonated with, you know, like it just had so much emotion. That's like, man, even if you don't even really know like what they're saying, like what they're saying, like what if their words are like super like metaphoric or whatever, but like you can relate to it, you know.
Yeah, it's angst.
Yeah, it's like the angsty thing, and I think that's like kind of where a lot of like, without even knowing it, like of my stuff kind of comes from is there's a literal side of me that I like in country about storytelling and whatever, like songwriting. Like I like the literal, like what are you saying, like, but I also love like the emotion of like the melody and the guitars and the drum, like the sonic emotion. So it's like combining the two, you know, it produces a pretty heavy and emotional song, no matter what you're singing about, you know.
So when you're out on tour, where's like here's a photo of you guys hanging out in Niagara Falls. Where's some of the coolest places you've gotten to see or visit when you've been out on the road?
Man, I've never been like a touristy sightseeing like person. Like I'm so like introverted to where like whenever like when I don't have to be around people, like I don't want to spend my day being around people going to see tourist things. Which like sometimes I look back, I'm like, man, I should, like there was one time I was in like wherever, like North or South Dakota, wherever the Mount Rushmore is, and like we had a day off and everybody was going to see Mount Rushmore, and I just like hung out and just like stayed back at the hotel and stuff like that. But I think geographically it's cool to see different places, especially the majority of my career, you know, has been in a van. So like you have to stay up and you get to like see everything. You know, you get to drive through Montana and you're up and like looking at everything, and it's just super cool to see like the different like geographical like regions.
Well, there's my old man medicine alarm. I always tell myself at 9:00 every week I gotta take that alarm off my phone, and I always forget about it. Tell me to take my nighttime pills, and it always goes off. But yeah, actually this last summer my wife and I we drove out to the Gorge Amphitheater, and we drove the whole way from Chicago. We drove through Montana and all that, and honestly I would drive that again in a heartbeat because it was beautiful.
We did that drive from Nashville to play there. in the van, and it's a beautiful drive.
You played the Gorge before?
Yeah, like it was a few years ago. You know, we just did one of those side stage things, and
Nice.
And we drove our little 15 passenger all the way there, and it was awesome. I mean, like I would go back and do it again just because of everything. I mean, you get to go through so many. You get to literally see the whole, you know, the whole different world of like. It's awesome.
We stayed in like a covered wagon when we went out there, like at one of these campgrounds or whatever on the side of Montana Road. It was pretty cool just to kind of get out there and check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to in a couple of months we're gonna go out and we're gonna actually, my wife and I, my parents, we're gonna go out to Massachusetts. So we're gonna head out to the East Coast. I'm gonna go up that way a little bit. And
nice.
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool.
Check it out. But let's go and talk about a little bit. So Saturday night you were at the Opry and you debuted, or you made a deal, kind of a pact that you're going to play a new song every time you play the Opry. Are you shooting yourself in the foot yet?
Yeah, man, that was one, like for this one specifically, I was like, man, I gotta write a song for this, like, because like, and I was working on the song that I ended up doing for it. I was working on it, really since the inspiration that it came from happened, the whole event, and that kind of, the Opry kind of gave me like a deadline of like when I knew I needed to finish it because I wanted to play it, and I finished it like 2 days before the Opry. Jeez. And the 2 days before the Opry, when it was done, I just had to like practice it and study it just so I wouldn't mess it up.
Now, did you play it for anybody, like your dad? Was that just a fresh, like, walked in there, you're the only one that knew about it, or did other people?
Well, technically, it was technically me and my dad wrote it because we were texting back and forth. Like, I needed help finishing. Like, I was like, man, if I want to get this thing done, like, and I love hearing his input, you know. Anyways, so we were like texting back and forth about it. So me and him, obviously, I think we were the only ones who've heard it before I played it. Yeah.
Let's see. I think I got a little clip if this is even. Yeah, this is the end of it.
Your sun on my face, your cool breeze blowing, your second wind whispering, keep on going.
I'm gonna tell you, I lost it at the end of that song, man. I could tell you.
I did too. You could hear my voice cracking. I was about to cry as well.
I heard it. I had to walk out after that. I know one lady actually, when I was walking out, she stopped me, and I know the people I was with, they could probably say, but I think she said like 3 days or 3 months ago, she lost a sibling, and she actually came and talked to like the whole row of all of us that were there, and it was just crazy, like the story she told us. So, that song resonated with her. But I'm gonna try to play this real quick. So this is from your brother's memorial. Let's see if the volume is gonna work on here.
Wow, you're gonna hear that. You've already heard that.
Let's see if everybody, if you guys can hear it, let me know.
From this natural body, to be absent from this natural body.
Where's that mention?
For the follower of home is the Lord. Present and at home. I know in our culture we like to say things like, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'll post that. I'll post that on my page later on so you guys can all see, because I know the words aren't matching the lips and it looks like a bad Chinese movie. It's kind of making me upset. So, but the message that was saying that during this memorial was that when someone is gone, they're not lost. And for me, I made a post kind of was coming home. Everybody in the car that I was riding with, they all fell asleep, and I was just kind of driving home and the sun was coming up. It was kind of a cool little thing. It was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And it was the night after the Opry. And I was kind of looking, just thinking, I'm like, well, damn, it kind of hit me because I lost my grandfather 20 years ago. And it's actually just a couple weeks ago when it happened. And I'm like, I always thought I lost him. And hearing this song and then putting two and two together with what he was saying at the memorial is when someone's gone, I mean, they're not lost. You know where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean,
If they know Jesus Christ, then yeah, you know where they are for sure. I mean, like if you know if they knew Jesus Christ and you know whoever passes away, it's like it's a hard thing to like comprehend or understand, but if you know it 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 is no different than like to some extent, you know, I think you should almost look at it and think of it as they're just in a different country right now, but you know you just can't, you know, because that's technically that's what the Bible said, you know, like you didn't lose them if you know that they knew Jesus and when someone passes away, then like if they're in heaven, like you know, it's a tough thing to comprehend or a tough thing to tough perspective to train yourself to think, you know, but it's so true.
Mhm.
You know, there like I know I, there's no reason in saying I lost my brother because I didn't lose him. I know he's in heaven. He's you know it just doesn't really fit
You know, you'll
the
see him soon. You'll see him again.
totally, you know. I mean, and so yeah, I mean, I got one brother that's on earth, and I got one brother that's in heaven. You know, it's that
Mhm.
plain and simple. You know,
Oh, I totally agree. And it's just the way, I mean, the way all of it is, and the way that song came about is just sitting there listening to it. Like I was choked up before 'cause I knew the minute you start talking about it, I'm like, I knew it was going to be for your brother. And I was telling like the others that we're with is because this us being fans, we felt that with you, and we felt like all of it. And hearing that song Saturday night kind of brought it all together, and it really showed me just how strong your whole family has been, the faith you guys have had. It's just been unbelievable to see that. And
well, that's where that's where the song really I got the idea from is because like you know you go through you having this happen to me, you know, and it's like you get pushed to a place and get tested on a level that's like you have never been tested before, and it's like it's with something this strong or something this big. It's like, man, I like I don't see how anyone can be strong enough to get through this or to handle a tragedy like this on their own. And when you search for, you know, for God's strength and you just fill yourself with that, like then like you find a new strength and a undescribable peace about you that you can't really point you can't give credit to anybody but up above, you know, and for being strong enough. And so it's like, man, I am strong enough to get through this, but I ain't without Jesus. I ain't without you, you know, like that was the whole idea, you know.
totally agree. And it just was just the way that everything came about is phenomenal. And the song, and I really think that so many people, because I know a couple people have noticed that when we were out in the lobby after you were done playing afterwards and during the intermission, people would come up because they saw our shirts. We were all wearing our Mother Tucker shirts we had on, and they'd see it and they're just like, "Man, we never heard about this guy, but that song." And so I really think you gained a lot of fans that night that just were blown away by it. So
Good, man. That's what I love about the Opry is it's a place full of it's just strictly for listening, you know, and it's like um if I can get people's attention or get them in a place to where or walk into a place where people are attentive, you know, and able to listen, then like and hear what I have to say, then like I'm gonna say something that that is that I feel like is a pretty big point, so that's one of the reasons why I like to, you know, introduce songs like that one, and I introduced
mm,
Find Me Here and
yep.
18 on the other ones because I'm set up in a place where people are going to listen to what you have to say. So you might as well say
That
something.
doesn't happen much anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can't go to a bar and try to debut a song like you did Saturday night or play a song. Now,
No,
do you
not
think
at
you'll
all.
ever record that song? Or do you think that's going to be a song you're going to leave at the Opry?
Actually, after I played it at the Opry, Warner Brothers A&R girl was like, man, should we try to fit this in the album right before, you know? And I was like,
Nice.
we'll get it done. So I'm actually going in next week to record it. You know,
Nice.
when you write as many songs as I do, it's like a project ain't done until a release date.
Exactly. I'm going to refresh real quick. Let's see. We're back. Sorry, I had a little bit of a connection that was kind of a little flirty or whatever on my end, so I want to clear it up. So that's awesome to hear that, though, man. So speaking of that and everything else, when do you think part 2 is going to come out?
Right now, it's set up and we're on schedule and on track, and everything's actually laid out. Right now, we are on the blueprint and track to have it out in June.
Wow, cool.
So
My birthday's around June. That's going to be a great one, right there.
Yes, I mean, like, because there's a lot of shit that goes into before you release an album.
I know you're ready, so.
Oh, I'm ready, but now we actually like made it a point and got the whole team on board. So to get the steps that we need to get done, like, so we're already officially working on towards release date. You know, so that's good, and I'm super excited about that. You know.
Well, congrats, man, on everything you're doing. Before I let you go, I want to share one story real quick to you that happened around Christmas. So it actually, so I didn't know, but there was a fan of yours that was he lives down in Louisiana, and he does a lot of paintings and this and that. And we're actually going to get you one of his paintings. And he posted on the Mother Tucker's page this painting he got. Or he did, and I made a comment on it, and I was just like, "Oh, if you ever do another one, it'd be cool to have." And Christmas Eve, we always do Christmas at my mom's house, and I didn't know, but my mom went behind my back and actually had this guy paint me the exact same thing. And the minute I saw it, I pretty much lost it. My wife sent me the video. There's a quick little video.
You wanted it, right? I messy. I'm doing my following. I'm doing my following. I can't believe I actually surprised you. I can't believe I actually surprised you.
In 36 years. I have no idea what it is. So my wife didn't even know, but in the way I said, it was kind of odd that it happened Christmas Eve because everything that happened right before Christmas, but it's actually the lyrics of Brother. And it was crazy because the minute I saw the painting and I started reading it, I just lost it because it was so fresh and everything that happened. And
totally.
And that was the video that came up for it. But we're going to get you one of these too. And like,
man,
this guy,
awesome.
Yeah, the work this guy did on it was so awesome. I just remember commenting it one day. His name's Justin Therio from Louisiana, though, and I want to give him a shout out tonight because of it.
That's
and
super cool. I love that, man. He does great.
Yeah, it was just a cool story, or just a cool thing to share with you, just because like I didn't know it was coming, but then the time it came and time I got it, I was just,
like it wouldn't even like be as cool if it was like any other song lyrics. Like that just makes it even cooler that like it happened to be that's the song that's on the painting in that time, man. It's that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, man, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. It's been a great night. I hopefully everybody got to know who you were or who you are now, and go see them, guys. Brooks and Dunn this summer. I'm sure after that we're gonna get even more to get you back out on the road. But make sure you guys pick up the new single. Go check him out, and hopefully in June, man, we'll have some new music.
Dude, I mean, I know every time I have a tendency of jumping on a day or announcing something, like usually
We
like
know
it gets
how
shot
it
in
is.
the foot, but I think this time it might actually be legit. I
Nice.
think June is for sure, unless something changes. But yeah, man, I'm excited about it.
Cool. Well, man, thank you for sharing your emotions and your songwriting skills and everything else you have with us and everybody else in the fan club. We really look forward to seeing you grow as an artist and really can't wait to support you, man. And we always have your back, and you know that. So,
Oh, I know that, man. I appreciate y'all more than anything, man. It's it means a lot to me, man. It's for an artist who really just has something to say and a point to his song and stuff. All you can really ask for is somebody, if not a handful of people, if not a shit ton of people, just anybody to give a shit and want to listen and so for y'all support and everything, man, it's keeps me doing what I'm doing. So I appreciate all y'all.
man, and sometimes, and we know how hard it is sometimes for artists too. You don't sometimes, I mean, yeah, it's great having a label, but sometimes you don't have the backing where they're going to do it. And it takes the fans to start a grassroots campaign almost to help push you and get you out there. And I think that's something that the Mother Tuckers are really kind of come together this summer. We're really going to try to make you a household name out there, man, get you pushed.
Totally.
I mean, where they lack, we'll fill in. And I mean, that's just what has to be done. And so we get you.
Well, it's got to start somewhere, man. And that's what's, and that's how, I like what you said earlier. I've actually never heard that quote or advice, but you said that
The Christopherson one.
Yeah, man, that's super true. It's about building, and if you're pushing the boundaries and doing something different and got your own thing, like inevitably, like it's gonna be a tougher road, but like it's gonna pay off because you're building the foundation and you have a foundation of people and fans that you can build off of and support you for a whole career. I mean, shoot, I just turned 25. I'm trying to do this for the rest of my life because I ain't got shit else to do. So
exactly. I mean, you gave up your baseball career, so you got to be doing this now.
I mean, I got all my eggs in this basket, so I'm either gonna do this or die trying. So
I mean, yeah, I mean, and it's cool with you. It's kind of like you. That's why I know I keep on saying like a lot like Eric in a way, but like you don't really. If you get big, it'd be cool for you to do it. I mean, if you could get out to the arenas, everything else, but you're happy doing what you're doing right now. As long as you keep doing what you're doing, and you can make a living out doing what you're doing, you're content. You're happy. I mean, of course,
I mean, it's
you
not
love
about
all the extras.
it's not about like fame and money, like because like it's about like the music and the messages and the impact you can have on people's lives. So it's like if God put me in this world, to only make a difference in 5 people's lives, then like if that's my purpose, then like I could die happy. Like that's cool, that's great. I'm cool with that. But I do believe, I would love my message to get out to thousands and thousands, and stuff like that. And but so it's
Well, your Mother Tucker's page is about ready to hit 1,000 any day. So your first 1,000's already here. So
shoot, well, let's go for 10,000.
we're gonna go for broke here, man. Don't worry. So all right, man. Well, you have a great night and take care. And we look forward to hearing from you, man. We cannot wait to see what's in the future for you, dude.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Tell your son I said hey. Tell your wife I said hey.
I will, man. I know Jackson's been asking about you lately, so we gotta get him back out to the show. So
nice.
So, all right, man. You take care. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother. See you.
Bye. All right, guys. That was amazing show. I didn't know it was gonna happen. Like I said, I was scheduled to have Kim Brown on tonight, and she was unable to make it. And man, whew, that was a fun show, though. I really appreciate you guys all tuning in, and I hope you guys had a good time. Once again, if you can, go check out the Patreon. Any little thing will help go towards production costs or bringing other artists in and just help growing the show. It's and we do awesome giveaways, and plus we give a little bit back every month to Chief Cares. So go check that out. I'll share the link in the chat and whatnot. And whew, you guys are having good fun in the chat. Look at that. So next week, well, actually, before I talk about next week, I forgot about posting this earlier. Thomas, man, happy birthday, dude. I wanted to shoot this out to you earlier, but I was so excited to get Tucker on and get the show started. But happy birthday, Thomas. I want to give a shout out to you, and grannies everywhere, watch out. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in tonight. I had a lot of fun. It was a blast, and hopefully we could build off this and keep going off more and more shows and have more fans and artists come on here and share their stories. And that's all I want to do. I want to be able to share stories and get you guys to know the people behind the music, what brings you the music. And so far, I'm loving it. Next week, man, we got to watch out for this guy because he's a smart guy. And I hear he knows a lot of good stuff. And he's wrote a lot of good songs.
On this chapter of the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.